Okay, class. This is Mr. Penrose, and this is a first quick video in a series of videos I'm going to do so that you can just basically have those simple questions answered, like how do I turn in an assignment, or how do I even get around on Google Classroom? And trust me, they're not dumb questions because, I think teachers, we always think it's so easy. And I'm telling you, I've had to re-record this a few times because I've messed up because I'm not used to looking at this as a student. So don't feel funny about watching a video 2 or 3 times to make sure you understand it. It's no big deal. The key is that you get it eventually. So in this video, all I want to do is just show you how to make sure you're getting around in the Google Classroom, at least for my class. And what made this really complicated for me is that apparently when you are a teacher, you can't see what your own students see. You can only see what the teacher sees. So I had to create my own personal account so that I could let myself in as a student and then see it the way you guys see it. So my school account will not have me looking over the Grand Canyon as my ID picture, but this is me as a student, so just like you, and this is really where the most important step takes place. In order for you to be able to function in the Google Classroom right, you've got to make sure you're logged into your particular Google account through Sandusky City Schools. Some of you have your own private accounts, or you have siblings or relatives who have their own accounts, and if you're logged into the wrong thing, Google Classroom sometimes just won't let you in. But worse, if it does let you in, your assignment gets essentially, as nearly as I can understand it, lost. Because if you're not on my roster as that specific, I think it usually goes like number, like the year you're going to graduate, so like 23, and then your first initial last name, and then at scsbluestreaks.net, something like that. If you don't have that official email in there, you're going to do that assignment, and I don't know where it goes, but it doesn't go to me. So the first step is to make sure you're seeing your icon. Maybe you have a picture of yourself like this, or whatever you have, and make sure you're logged into the right account. Once you do that, then you're going to go to your Google Classroom. Now, some of you have other ways around this. That's fine. I don't really care how you get there, as long as you get there. And what you will see then is you'll have a history and a math and a science, or whatever you have, English. And for history, you're going to, now me as a teacher, this is my icon. I have these 3 history books. You will click on that class. Now, it's always going to say Mr. Penrose U.S. History, but below that, it's going to say something like 4th period U.S. History or 3rd period honors U.S. History, whatever it is. There'll be a little bit more specifics in there. But you will then click on that, your class. Again, I'm recording this at a time before I know who's in what period, because technically it's still summer for me. So click on this, and you're going to see a unique banner at the top of each class. So whatever you see, if this is your particular class, I think this is going to eventually be 4th period, you're going to see the same picture at the top. It's a history picture that I took for each particular class. The reason I did that is it's conceivable that you have a sibling who's also in my class, or a cousin who's also in my class. And if you happen to be looking at their stuff, you want to make sure you're in your class when you're doing your work, and they're in their class when they're doing theirs. So everybody has their own unique picture. So I want to just go over in this video sort of how we go about teaching you with Google Classroom, at least how I go about it. And just to make sure there's no confusion. We are going to have the unique opportunity with this learning schedule and program that we have to talk to you live at least 2 days a week. And that's going to be great, much improved upon last year. But that live session is really going to be you asking questions and me reinforcing what I'm already going to have taught you in each daily recorded lecture. So if we were in a regular classroom, there's no coronavirus. I'd be teaching you something, and then you'd raise your hand and you'd ask your questions, or you'd say, "Oh, I don't get it. Can you re-explain it?" And that's what I would do. Well, when I'm recording, obviously, nobody asked me any questions, and I just kind of plow through what I'm doing. The live sessions that we'll have during your class period, at least twice a week, those are your chance to say, hey, you said this other thing, I didn't get it. And if everybody, once we get through those questions, I'll reinforce it and give some examples, and I'll ask you guys for questions and examples, and you'll have a little bit more of a traditional feel. But I wanted to show you this video so that you knew, well, where am I going to be doing sort of that basic teaching of, the ins and outs or the facts of the day or whatever it might be. And what you're going to see is each day I'm going to explain what's going on in the stream. There's 3 aspects to the Google Classroom: the stream, the classwork, and the people. Now, for the people, you're going to have your teacher and then all the other students listed below it. For classwork, you're going to see various assignments, but we're early on here. The stream, though, is where it's at as far as I'm concerned. This is where I'm going to do the actual teaching. So each and every school day, I'm going to minimally post something here. I would say 95% of the time, after I sort of say, hey, it's Monday, here's what we're doing, we're going to learn about this today, you're going to see a video here. Now, I didn't have a video for today because today's not a school day, but that video would be specific to that day. I'm not just recycling old videos. I'm doing a new one for you almost every single day. The only days we won't is if you have a big assignment or a test or something like that, because I'm supposed to teach you history 50 minutes a day. So between the lecture and then sometimes the assignment, I'm hoping to, fill up 45 to 50 minutes of your day. So it'll change every day, but I'll say something like, oh, Monday, here's what we're doing. We're basically learning about federalism. Click on this video and then do the assignment. And what we found last year is that students sometimes, and I get it, you didn't know, and maybe you were trying to cut some corners. Maybe you didn't do this. Maybe it was just sophomores last year. They went straight to this classwork, would click on the assignment, and then try to do it. And then a lot of times, that assignment didn't make any sense because what I taught in this video explained that. But if you went straight to the classwork, you didn't get the benefit of the explanation. That's sort of like walking into a class 30 minutes late, which if you've ever done before, stinks because you kind of don't know what's going on. I mean, it happens, but it stinks for you, the student. And then you just get handed the assignment. You're like, oh, I don't understand. If you just click on classwork, that's kind of what you're doing. You don't want to do that. So you would click on the video first. I think this video is me reenacting the JFK assassination. Okay, that's just an example of something that I'm doing. But normally it would just be a screen share like this. Oh, let's stop this. This is horrible. Okay, so normally it would just be a screen share, a video of a screen share like this, or maybe it'll be me specifically talking and you could see my face, or maybe I'll use my children like I did in that one and do some sort of reenactment, whatever. But you would have that video. Now that little video is 4 minutes long. It normally would be, I would think, 20 to 30 minutes and then a 15-minute assignment, but it could vary. It's going to be a little bit different every day. So you click on that video, you watch it. After you do that, if there's an assignment, then you click on classwork and you do that assignment. So just want to make sure you understood that. Now I'm going to do other little mini videos about how to do a document of the week, how to do a worksheet, just so you understand that as well. But how the class works is that each and every day I'm going to have a post right here in the stream. And in that stream, I'm going to say, hey, here's what we're doing today. And then we're going to have a video most of the days that is me explaining X, Y, or Z. And then it'll say something like, and don't forget the assignment. And then you'll go to classwork and you'll do that assignment. So that's all we intended to do here today, was just show you sort of what we expect and how to navigate a little bit. Different teachers may do it different ways, but that's okay. You can handle that. You know that from going to school as long as you have. Different teachers handle things differently all the time in regular school. So it makes sense that they would do things a little different in your Google Classroom as well. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Google Stream in the classroom. The Google Stream is where it's at. It's where I'm going to talk to you and teach you. And then if you have any questions or you have anything you want to sort of debate and get you fired up, we'll go to the live, and then if you've watched it already, you're going to have better questions and you really be able to have a better conversation with me. Okay? And then this is nice though. The live will happen specifically during your class, but if something happens and you couldn't make it, you were sick, maybe, for example, or X, Y, or Z happened, you had a computer problem, if you can just log in later on, at least you can get the basic content after the fact. Just watch with the assignments though. Those have specific due dates, so you want to get those done by the time they're due. So it's expected that you'll be in every single day. All right? All right, hope this makes sense, and look for other little mini videos to explain similar things.